Hello, it's 1:45 in the morning. I'm at the airport today. I'm going to travel, but my flight is 5:30 in the morning, so I have a long time to wait. So what do we do when we have to wait a long time? I brought my project with me. And since this will be a trip in which I will have long periods of waiting, I thought that I could try to make a project vlog about a project I have mentioned to you before, which I want to make like cotton scraps. I brought most of my fingering weight and thread scraps. I have winded the thread already held double here in a color scheme that pleased me to make a gallivanter bag by Squidney Knits, this one. And that's what I will try to make, because I don't know if they will confiscate my needles. I hope no. Here it is. This is a 3mm wooden needle because I didn't want to lose my metal ones. I hope they won't confiscate. If they do confiscate my needles, I will save the yarn, and I have a backup plan, which is crochet hooks. Also metal, but they are not technically pointy, so I'll try to keep them, or at least these ones, and use them with my yarn. These are the very tiny ones, 1mm, 1.5mm, this kind of thing, because I have cotton thread here. And I have downloaded also a bunch of vintage patterns that I had already in my computer, just saved them in my phone. So if I can't make my gallivanter, then I will make the others. But my plan is to finish the knitting of this bag within the period of the travel. I won't be there for much. I would have like 2 nights and then 2 afternoons to work on it, maybe. And the flights, all the flights. So let's see, it's not a big project. I have already cast on and knitted 4 rows here, but there's a lot to do. So wish me luck. And I'm wearing my sugar plum jumper. I always tell that I wear this a lot, and it's not a lie, it follows me everywhere. It's such a marvelous knit. If you want to hear about it, go to my every garment in my hand knit ward. I talked about knitting this. I was here watching Cinema Knits video about Harry Metzetti knitwear, very nice. I like her channel if you wanna go and watch. There's some interesting stuff, especially those videos about cinema. And in the meanwhile, I finished my first stripe. Now I add 2 lines of white, and I think next color is pink. Let's see. I think now it's a little later than 2:30 in the morning, so it's kind of going fast. Hi, it's 4:15 in the morning, and good news, my needles came through the x-ray. They weren't confiscated, so it means that we're going to go on with the project. It's currently in my bag because I'm going to the gate. We're boarding in half an hour, sort of, and so I'll show you where I am in a while. I'm going to Belo Horizonte, the capital of the state of Minas Gerais in Brazil. I'm going to meet up with my boyfriend. He has some stuff to do there, and when he's done, we will walk around the city a little bit, and I may show you some snippets of the place. The flight here, I started the third colorful row of my gallivanter bag. here. And then I was too tired and I slept the second half of the flight here. And then I got here after another hour in an Uber and I slept another hour in the hotel. And then I went to have lunch. And I'm just came back from my lunch and now I'm going to relax, take a shower, take out my travel clothes and work on it a little more. Let's see how far we can get this afternoon. So now is about 4:30 and I have finished the third color of my bag and the divisor here, which is color 6, and I'm about to join the fourth color, this green. If you recognize it, both are from my granny square dress. And I think that's about what I'm going to be able to do today. Maybe just join and start, and let's see how it goes tomorrow. I was happy to discover that there is a yarn store practically under the hotel, and there is a fabric store in the other side of the street. So maybe I will be able to get at least the fabric for lining and maybe even the handles that I need to finish this. I don't think I will be able to assemble it here, but it's a start. And here another Fable knitwear making an appearance in this blog. This is my Agnes top. You can hear everything about it in my latest podcast episode, a little bit in the former ones. So until the next update. Hi, today is Sunday, about midday, a little later than that, and I'm recovered. Thank you. I have worked a little bit more yesterday and this morning in the project, and here it is. Now the color scheme of the bag is complete. You can see it here. And the last color is this one. And now I will finish this stripe and start the repetition. I have to look at the sequence in which they advise you to repeat the stripes, and maybe I can work the rest. I don't know if the entire rest, because this took me a lot. In my defense, it's 3mm needles and over 140 stitches, so it takes a lot anyway, even though it's garter stitch, so not hard. I realize that I haven't talked much about the pattern. There isn't much to talk, honestly. This is a bag project by Sydney Knits, in which she just modernized a vintage pattern from 1917. Her pattern contains the entire vintage pattern. The main quality of her version is that it includes gauge and all those things that you can find in a 1917 pattern, but other than that, it includes a step-by-step tutorial to sew the lining, which I'm not going to do while I'm traveling, probably because I won't have time, and also I don't have the placement, the accessories to sew a lining here, but the pattern includes that. But I will include it in the video when I come back and do it, not filming the step by step, just show you kinda what I'm doing here. The pattern has a clutch version and a version with handles, and I'm making the one with handles. And that's it for now. I will spend the entire afternoon basically knitting, and I come back to you in the end of the afternoon to show where we got to. Bye bye. Hello there, it's 6 o'clock and I have reached officially the half of the bag. This is one half exactly, and now I have to repeat this and repeat everything once again. Since it took me up to now to make half of it, I don't think I will finish it over the weekend. I will not be knitting much more on it today. I might add maybe one stripe, maybe two at most, and tomorrow I won't knit on it, and maybe I will add some length to this in the way back home. So let's see how far I got before I get home with it. But these are thousands of stitches, so we did some work here. Bye for now.
On Monday, we went gallivanting to know the city, but unhappily, almost everything was closed, so we only saw the outside of most buildings and some squares with beautiful nature and an art exposition. There were two expositions, one of them about the history of art. Some of the art there was very inspiring for color work, like some traditional indigenous motifs, and we also saw some churches. We walked the entire afternoon because everything was very large and far away there, but we had a lot of fun.
Hi, good morning. It's Tuesday, 9 in the morning, and I'm going to get my first flight home. There are two short flights, but they still don't have a direct route towards where I live. So I have knitted a little bit more yesterday, the night before, and this morning on the way here. I will show you to you in a moment the knitting in my lap, and I'm going to keep knitting until I get home. I don't think I will finish the bag, but I might get a good length still because there are some hours until I get home. Also, I have bought the fabric for lining, and I have bought a zipper, but I think the zippers that we bought won't be big enough. So let's see. The yarn shop that I told there was under the hotel actually wasn't a yarn shop. They only sold thread for sewing. The name of such shops are the same in Portuguese. That's why I thought it was a yarn shop. But there was a yarn shop quite close to the hotel, and there I bought yellow to continue my temperature blanket and the zippers, but I didn't buy the handles. I will order it online so I can finish this bag soon, and let's keep knitting now, right? Hey, I'm back home. Today is Wednesday and I didn't film anything else yesterday, but I kept knitting and that's what I got. I'm almost at the end of the bag. During the trip, I got to like just over half of the blue stripe and then I made this one already home. And why is it red, Erika? You may ask me. Well, I should by then repeat the pink stripe. However, I only had this of pink, and because I already had such a small amount of green and of black, I knew that it would end halfway through a stripe, so I decided I wasn't going to risk having to frog it, and I picked my red, which is here. I have a little more to make this one, which they will be the two different stripes in the overall color scheme. I have two more stripes to go, both green, and I'm done. You can see it's pretty large, larger than I believe it would be, and I had some palpitations because I believed I was off gauge and my bag was too large. I bought the handles yesterday also, the ones that I was eyeing for a while. Dark ones are pretty, but their opening was only 25 centimeters. I was supposed to fit this top in a 25 centimeter opening, and well, it's already larger than 25 centimeters and it will be even larger once I add the last stripes. I read the pattern some further steps and I was already blaming myself because she mentioned subtracting rows to match your handle, but it's not rows from this part, but rows from the part that you make to envelope the handles with your bag, the top here. Well, I was already blaming myself, but then I decided to measure the gauge and read the measurements of her bag, and I found out that I am pretty spot on with the row gauge. Of course, I haven't blocked it yet. I want to block it and hang it even from here, so my fabric grows vertically but not horizontally, because it's garter, so it's quite stretchy, you know. But my measurements are quite similar to
her bag. So I'm not off gauge, I'm not wrong, I'm doing everything right. However, her handle was larger than mine. So I canceled my order with a pain in my heart, because from what I have here, I couldn't fix it to make it only 25 centimeters and have a good color scheme. If I had to do that, I had some options. None of them were very satisfying. At least I would have to frog up to here. Well, then I searched for another handle that was similar to hers, because I really didn't like the projects that had the bag larger than the handles. I really liked the ones that had the handles at the same size or larger than the bag. And that's what I wanted, that's what attracted me to this bag. So I went searching for handles that were the appropriate size, and I only found one, and it's not ideal. So I think I'm going to get them and I'm going to paint them. I have tools to paint wood and I have done it before, and it was pretty nice. So I'm waiting. In the meanwhile, I will finish the bag, I will line it, and let's see when we will have a finished bag for you. But as for knitting, we're quite close. Yeah, bye for now. Good morning. It's Thursday morning now, and I have something to show you. Finished it. Entirely knitted and it's woven. I finished it yesterday night, the same day that I filmed last. So now I'm going to block it very soon, and I hope it will dry today. I probably will only line it in the weekends. And I also bought the new handles, the bigger handles, and they're coming my way. Let's see when they will get here so I can finish this lovely bag. I'm liking it. What do you think? The size is exactly the same from the pattern, so let's see. Hello folks, I just really don't feel like a peer this morning. I'm a little bit tired. I didn't get good sleep, so well, today is Saturday, October 4, and what I have here is the lining for my bag. I hadn't shown this to you before I cut, but I did cut it yesterday, and I decided to use the zippers I had bought because they wouldn't be enough for the entire opening of the bag. I decided to use the zippers and the rest of the fabric to create those two pockets, which I have then sewn to the lining before I apply the lining to the bag. I intend to sew on the lining today. I still have to close the top of the pockets here, and they will be opened with the zipper. So my handles got here earlier than I believe it. It's still Saturday, October 4th, and I will dye them. I won't use them like this, mostly because it's tainted from the laser cut, so I'm going to dye it black probably today, at least one of the sides, so it can dry while I finish my pockets and sew my lining. Hello. Yesterday I didn't film myself working much, but I did work a lot in the bag, and here you have it. The pockets are completely sewn. For them I used a whip stitch at first, and then there is this other sewing stitch that I forgot the name of, but I will... Oh, my cat wants to appear here. say hello to Brigitte. People, she's like 7-year-old, I guess, and she hangs out around here. Well, I'm back. So I used a whip stitch to put it in place, and then another sewing stitch that goes into the previous stitch. Every new stitch goes into the previous one. I will leave a link below explaining it, and I will place the name here because I can't explain very well. Well, then I attached the lining completely. You can see here and the other side with the appropriate colors for it not to show in the other side. And I didn't film that because, well, that's exactly the part that is explained in the pattern. I attached it partially. This part is supposed to be left kind of open because we will use it to put stuff inside. I also did this. I got them already yesterday. They were supposed to be delivered from tomorrow into next week, but they came early. They were very light, so I painted them. At first I wanted to paint them black, but then I thought dark brown would give more of a wooden feel to this. This is wood, but it's poor quality wood. I don't remember the name in English, but whatever. It's a thin wood, but it was light colored, so I painted it dark brown. I added some drops of red in the black to make it dark brown. Even though it's not the same color, it will still feel interesting. Well, cat's making a mess here. So the only thing that is left for me to do today is to attach the handles, to knit the casing for the handles, and then you will have the complete review. Let's see if I can finish this today. Bye bye for now. Hello. Finished it. You can see the casing is here. It wasn't so close to the sewing, but it pulled up the sewing, so it's kind of hidden now. It also collapsed. The stockinette collapsed a little bit, so it brought in the bag. Maybe I will iron it to have it pretty flat, but can you see? I love this. I love this because there is something so magical about doing something yourself, like all the steps, choosing colors, knitting every stitch here, sewing every stitch here, and creating this on my own, painting the handles, everything. There's something very special in making our own stuff. Even if it's not as beautiful as you might find in a shop, it's still very special for us. So this fits most of my clothes, at least most of my handmade clothes, because it was made with the same yarn, right? You will see in a moment. I'll just show you how it can be filled in. For example, here I have a book. I will go out and I will place my book here. It still has a lot of room here. On top of it I could add a coat, a light coat if I get cold, and then I could use the pockets for something like this, or I made it exactly to fit a phone. I am using my phone to record, so I can place it here, but one of them is for a phone, the other is for my wallet and something, and both fit the phone or anything. I could perfectly take it out for the city or whatever I go. Well, and now I'm going to show you how I will combine it with my clothing. So let's go.